Persona 5 shows off its royal update via a live stream, and Grandia is here to rock your world in just a few more days. All that and more on this episode of the JRPG Report. Hello and welcome back, fans, for your weekly JRPG fix. My name is James Fisher, and you are listening to the JRPG Report podcast, as well as, well, some of you may be listening to this as a YouTube video. We do that every week as well. This is episode 72, and I had all intents and purposes of leading off with Persona 5 Royal as they had their first gameplay live stream, and they have a ton of stuff to talk about. But first, news that I wasn't exactly expecting just yet, but it is what has me the most excited, and that is Gung Ho Online Entertainment America has announced we'll be playing Grandia HD Collection on your Switch in just a week. That's right, on August the 16th, Grandia HD Collection will be available on the Nintendo eShop. Publisher Gung Ho Online Entertainment America was proud to finally announce. If you recall, back at E3, they said, here it comes, and it's coming soon. And of course, in the video game world, coming soon can mean anything from next week to next year. So I wasn't anticipating something this soon. Well, it is soon, August 16th. Oddly enough, I guess we still don't have a price, though. So as soon as I hear something, be sure to check back on the Facebook page, and we will let you know. As soon as I find out, you will find out. Grandia HD Remaster for the PC will follow at a later date, while the already available Grandia 2 Anniversary Edition will be renamed Grandia 2 HD Remaster. So I am greatly looking forward to getting back into that title with its awesome real-time turn-based action combat system, all the magic and worlds to explore, gather skill points, awesome enemy encounters, and that really unique music that just screams Grandia. And but it's all about that battle system, and in my opinion, one of the greatest battle systems for RPGs that's ever been conceived. Very strategic, very fun, can be brutal at times. You've got to cancel out attacks and hope that you don't get canceled out by the enemies. But if you have never played Grandia, this is your chance. Keep in mind, this is digital only. Don't be looking for a physical copy on Amazon or at GameStop. It's not going to be there. We still don't know if we're going to get any more in terms of Grandia 3 coming out. That is tied up in nobody knows who owns it land. So this is probably the best you're going to get, and sadly maybe ever get as far as Grandia goes. But I'll let you guys know how cool that is, assuming this is not like crazy priced. You do get 2 games in here. I'm hoping for somewhere around $30. I think that's a pretty fair price point. Certainly $60 is too much. I'd have to kind of scoff at that, but we'll just have to see what that ends up being. But, so let's get into what I assume that we'd be talking about, and that is Persona 5 Royal. They had their big live stream event shortly after our last podcast was recorded. So in addition to the first live gameplay stream, they had their the second official trailer, the Goro Akechi trailer, the 4th Morgana's Report news delivery trailer as well. So in specific, in the Goro trailer, they got new information about the character himself. The Persona 5 Royal, his confidant, can be leveled up on your own accord, as you can with most other confidants. This also includes new confidant abilities that can be acquired, such as being able to scope out the enemy's weakness at the start of battle. Morgana's Report number 4 introduces new elements and mementos, including a new character named Jose and a new mission type. If you guys check out the trailer for this, he is a interesting looking character, to say the least. He's a new mysterious character you will meet while exploring mementos. He seems to be collecting flowers to study humans. You can use Jose's power to turn the ishi that you collect in each palace into even more powerful accessories. Remember, those were like special treasures that you can collect pieces of and put together in order to form powerful accessories. You can also exchange the flowers you collect in mementos for items. Stamp pads will now appear all over mementos. By collecting stamps and bringing them to Jose, you'll be able to exchange them to change the perception of mementos itself, such as increasing the amount of experience points or money earned after battles. New pitch black areas will now appear with strong shadows. That's kind of cool. And there is a new mission type that you will have to successfully negotiate with the target by using information acquired in the city and the fan site network. This is a welcome addition to me. I found mementos to be a bit of a mixed bag. I think I initially enjoyed it and then found it to be a little repetitive and boring at times. And I realized mementos was maybe more closely aligned with the previous Persona dungeons. But I just, after the new Persona 5 dungeons with all their details and for lack of a better word, coolness, it just felt kind of drab. And I found myself not really wanting to get into exploring it. Kind of felt like a waste of time. But anyway, during this live stream, there was also a interview with Persona 5 Royal producer Wada, and Morgana actually used the opportunity to ask him 4 user-submitted questions. The one that was previously addressed was about the downloadable content. Any DLC that you got from Persona 5, it will be repurchased for what is 10 yen in Japan, so I think that's just a Japan thing. I think it'll be free download over here. I don't think we have those restrictions. The first one, a question that hasn't been asked that I know of yet, says the first game had restrictions on the share feature. Remember, there was certain, and we've seen this in other JRPGs as well. Is that also the case for Persona 5 Royal? Will you be able to take screenshots upon acquiring trophies? He says the share function can be used freely until mid-December in the game. So that is when the third semester or whatever, I believe, starts, and they're saying that you can use that up to that point. Once all that new content comes out, you are going to be restricted on sharing. Big news, I thought, and this, you can see bits of it in the new trailer as well. By the way, you can head over to the JRPG Report. I've got trailers galore for you guys for this week. I can't even remember how many trailers I shared over there, but I'm not going to mention it every time. I'm going to try not to sound like a broken record, say go to the JRPG Report Facebook page and check out the trailer. But they are all there. It asks, will Persona 5 Royal have any additional palaces? Yes, there is one new palace that happens during the third semester. Not surprising enough, it says which you'll visit when an incident occurs during the newly added third semester, and that is all the detail that we have as far as that goes. Another new detail to come out of the live stream: Ryuji's insta-kill confidant ability has been changed, so that will now only be triggered when the enemy is approached with a dash, and so that you can acquire experience points and money upon defeating it. Persona 5 Royal is due out on October 31st in Japan and 2020 in the West. More and more things to get excited about for Persona 5. Definitely check out those trailers, as the game is looking sharp. And if somehow you have not played Persona 5, it looks like the definitive edition that you will want to check out. We had he is a cheerful demon who's easy to like, though dealings in his past life have left it difficult for him to trust others. He's able to crush those through stern defenses. He boasts the most offensive power of any demon and he can use his massive axe to block incoming attacks. Sounds like a good guy that you want to have on your team. Second, as I mentioned, there was a bunch of trailers for some new titles coming out here soon. Nintendo released a new trailer for Dragon Quest XI-S Echoes of the Elusive Age Definitive Edition, introducing the world of Erdrea. Here's a brief overview of the game. You are the Luminary, the hunted hero who will protect the land from destruction in the latest RPG from the iconic Dragon Quest series. The ragtag band of adventurers, you'll engage in a well-balanced, turn-based battles and embark on quests across the kingdom of Erdrea. Forge gear, develop party members' skills, and alter their outfits without changing gear in this edition of the game. This version also lets you ride and attack with monsters on the field to earn experience points, as well as change between HD and 16-bit visuals, symphonic or synthesized music, and English or Japanese audio. Complete the tale with the new character-focused stories and travel to past Dragon Quest worlds. Dragon Quest XI-S Echoes of the Elusive Age Definitive Edition is due out for Switch worldwide on September the 27th. There was also news that a demo was going to be released for this title. I believe this is going to be Japan only, though, as the announcement was in Japanese, and only the words Dragon Quest and the Roman numeral 11 were in English. I guess the letter S there as well. But it looks like that is purely going to be a demo that comes out in Japan. Maybe we'll get it at a later date. They did say this was announced at the Dragon Quest Summer Festival 2019 in Tokyo, so it's not like it was a worldwide thing. Users who keep their save data from this demo will receive a seed skill as a bonus when they play the full game. There was a trailer for this announcement, so you can check that out on the Facebook page. We talked a little bit about Yokai Watch the past couple episodes, and Yokai Watch 1 had a Nintendo Switch debut trailer. This remaster is due out October 10th in Japan. The Switch version of the 2013 released Yokai Watch features high-definition graphics and compatibility with Yokai Art and DxYo Sensing toys. So you can check that out. There was a trailer came out for a interesting looking story-driven action RPG called Children of Morta. This will launch on PC via Steam and the Windows Store on September 3rd. PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch will get it on October 15th. Publisher 11-Bit Studios and developer Dead Mage announced. As previously announced, Merge Games will publish a physical edition of Children of Morta at retail for PS4 and Switch. This game looks to be very story-driven. It's all about family, and you witness the emotions and struggles as they do their duty to return peace to the land, they say. You can inherit traits from your family as well. It's an ever-changing world touched by corruption, and it's constantly changing. Every forest, dungeon, or temple you explore guarantees a unique experience for each playthrough. It has a very unique hand-painted pixel art style and frame-by-frame animations partnered with modern lighting techniques that has come to life. It's Children of Morta, not a traditional JRPG by any stretch, but definitely has those elements, and it kind of grabs you with the unique art style, and it looks like it's going to be very heavy on the story. So if you're looking for something maybe a little bit different, you can check that out here soon. I've got that trailer for you guys to check out. Not a new trailer, but we did get another section of new art for Final Fantasy VII Remake. This time, showing the bustling Sector 8 of Midgar. It's got the concept art shown, and then shows Cloud with his ginormous Buster Sword walking down the streets. Very, very cool. I hope they do this every week, because I am quite enjoying checking out what they have in mind for the concept, and then how it comes to life. Just incredible. This game's This game's going to blow people away when it comes out March 3rd of next year. Super Robot Wars 5 got a debut trailer for Switch and PC. It'll be out October 3rd in Japan and Asia. The PC date has yet to be released. You can check that trailer out, of course, on the Facebook page. Square Enix has set their Gamescom lineup. This Gamescom, of course, will be from August 20th through the 24th. I believe that's over in Germany. There will be, surprise, surprise, Final Fantasy VII Remake. A hands-on demo showcasing the reimagining of the iconic original game that redefined the RPG genre. They'll have 72 stations set up for people to get to play this demo. You know, there's been a lot of speculation on to whether there will be a demo released or not, and I don't see why not. Especially, I mean, you've made a demo for Gamescom. Why wouldn't you just release that to kind of hold people over? It seems like kind of a no-brainer. But we will see if that happens or not. Final Fantasy XIV Online will be there. Kingdom Hearts 3 will be there. Life is Strange 2 Episode 4 Faith. The Marvel Avengers game. Trials of Mana will be there. Great, looking forward to that. And they say the Square Enix booth will offer a sneak peek at merchandise prototypes for the upcoming Final Fantasy VII Remake, as well as an open demo space for visitors to try out the latest Square Enix product board games. Yeah, those remake figures are going to make them a pile of cash. That's for sure. We talked a little bit last week about Genshin Impact. Was shown off at China Joy 2019. I've got a trailer from 4gamer.net showing off quite a bit of gameplay in the open world action RPG. It is a freely exploitable fantasy world with multiple playable characters, an in-depth elemental combo-based combat system, and an engaging story. It's being developed for PS4, PC, and smartphones. So if you're interested in seeing more of that, it's about 24 minutes long, I believe. So you can check that out and see all you want of it. It's a promising looking game. I'm kind of looking forward to see how that one turns out. Not sure if we're going to get this over here or not, but Japan has some Monster Hunter World Iceborne themed PS4 merchandise. You've got a top cover, a exclusive DualShock 4 available in both black and white. The cover is available in black and white as well. And then there is the wearable neck speaker. It looks pretty pricey. I didn't even know what a neck speaker was, and I still don't, but I can look at the picture of it and know a little bit more. Still don't understand how that works, but still. So not sure if we're going to get anything like that or not. This may be Japan only, but if you're looking to import, I'm sure you could. They'll sell you anything if you give them enough money, but it's certainly some cool stuff coming out for Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Some news, a game that's certainly not a traditional JRPG, but has those elements and looks pretty cool. It's a game called The Last Spell. It was announced for Switch and PC. Developer CCCP. It is a turn-based, they announced this, that it was a turn-based tactical RPG. It'll first launch for PC and Mac via Steam in 2020 and followed by a later release for the Switch. And they ask, when about the game, they say, what if Final Fantasy Tactics and Dynasty Warriors had an illegitimate daughter? The Last Spell is a turn-based tactical RPG immersed in roguelike mechanics in which you lead a team of hardened heroes to defend the last bastion of humanity against hordes of monsters. Like I said, it looks like a pretty cool game, but there is an announcement trailer for that if you want to get a little bit more in depth with it. a cool idea, to say the least. You know, kind of humanity's last stand and what you want to do to save the last of humankind. Quickly, I will say that there was a huge announcement. You know it's big when you get the pre-announcement about Pokemon Sword and Shield that they said, coming out in 2 days, a big announcement about Pokemon Sword and Shield. Well, they released a whole bunch of information about Galarian form Pokemon, form-changing Pokemon, new rivals, and poke jobs. That just sounds weird. The latest on the November 15th due Pokemon game. Tons of information that I don't have a clue what any of it's about. I've linked that story and trailer, I believe, for you Poke fanatics out there if you want to check it out. There's a ton of stuff to go over, and that's about all you're going to get out of me. So if you're new to the podcast, I'm not a big Pokemon fan, and I apologize to all fans out there who enjoy the game. It's just not for me. There's a lot of games that are just not for me. But if you love it, that's great. I can sit here and talk about it, but I don't know what I'm talking about, so I'm not going to waste I'm not going to waste your or my time talking about it. Moving on, Ys 9 Monstrum Nox detailed their Grimwald Knight and Larva battles. This is from their official website, and they say that during Grimwald's Night, the Monstrum gather in different dimensions, where the sky is a dyed deep red, and a battle against countless monsters called Larva unfolds. By wiping out all the larvae and putting an end to Grimwald's Night, the barriers spread across the prison city of Baldo will release, expanding the area of exploration across the city. So it sounds like that's something you're going to have to do if you would like to explore everything. Larva battles are said to be by touching the dark miasma found all over the prison city. The surrounding landscape will temporarily become monotone, and a battle against larvae will occur. By exterminating larvae that appear, the miasma will disappear, and your Nox gauge will accumulate, which is required for Grimwald's Night to occur. So you gotta do that. You gotta face off against all these hideous-looking larvae in order to get Grimwald's Night, in order to make your way across the city. Game is shaping up to look pretty well. We should have some information about a more of a Western release here soon. It is due out in Japan on September the 26th. Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town got some new screenshots of on, Kai, heart events, and post-marriage events. There was a new Bachelor and Bachelorette. The new Bachelorette is On. The new Bachelor is Kai. On is a girl who is always lively and cheerful, works at the inn ran by her father. She is great at household chores and loves eating tasty food. Well, that's like everybody, right? Everybody's dad has an inn, and they're great at household chores, and they love eating tasty food. She sounds awesome. Kai is a boy who comes from the city to run a shop during the summertime. Since he is cheerful and easy to get along with, he is popular among girls and children, but he's not quite as popular with the guys. They say you can fall in love with heart-throbbing heart events. When your heart level increases, a heart event will occur. By talking to a bachelor or bachelorette during every day and giving them gifts, your heart level will increase. But be careful when giving them a gift they dislike. It will lower your heart level. There is tons of post-marriage events. In addition to having kids a little while after marriage, there are plenty of events to enjoy when you're married, including your wedding anniversary, family, birthdays, and more. Folks, this is just getting you ready for life, because there's tons of other events to enjoy when you're married. Life does not end when you're married. That is a good lesson to learn. It's just getting started. Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town is due out for Switch on Japan on October 17th. North America and Europe will get it at a, quote, later date. Mary Skelter 2 for the Switch will launch October 22nd in North America, October 23rd in Europe. It will be available via the Nintendo eShop on the Switch at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time in North America, and on October 23rd at 11 a.m. CEST time in Europe. Publisher ID Factory International announced. The Dungeon RPG sequel also includes the first installment in the series, Mary Skeletor Nightmares, with revamped systems and bounces to the original release. They got it in Japan both physically and digitally, but it looks like we're just getting the digital version available for download. But they've got a couple new screenshots to check out there, as well as getting a firm release date. So if you played the first one, you're looking for the second one, well, now you can play them all in one place. Our weekly Atelier Ryza news. They won't stop with this one until this game comes out. So there was recently announced the gathering point synthesis system for the game, which allows you to create your own gathering points. Will allow you to share the gathering points you create with other players. This was all according to the latest issue of Weekly Famitsu. By bottling up gathering points created during the gathering point synthesis, you can obtain a password. They say this is 4 English characters. And share it with other players by posting it on social media. So that's kind of interesting. Let's see how that kind of works more in detail. They had a second story kind of detailing it a little bit more, but they, it's kind of hard to detail all this stuff without being in the game and getting a little bit of context to it. I'm glad they're doing all this stuff, but it's certainly going to be more easy to learn once we get our hands on the game and have some more context to it. Definitely looking forward to this game, and it looks like they're going to have just a ton of different content for it when it releases. PS4 and Switch on September 26th in Japan, PS4, Switch, and PC on October 29th in North America, and November 1st in Europe. One last story I did want to talk to you guys about, and it's, there was not a whole lot of information released about this, but we can glean a lot from it. Cygames announced that more information for Grand Blue Fantasy Relink will come at the Grand Blue Festival 2019. So that's great news, right? Except this is in December, the 13th and 15th. They announced this back at Grand Blue Extra Festival 2019 in Osaka. They released a single image to go along with that. So, not that the game is coming out in December, but more information will be announced at that time. So 4 months from now, they will release more information about the game. This game's not coming out for a while. I guess you can be hopeful that it's coming out in spring in Japan, and we'll get it in a year from now in the West. And I think that's being optimistic. Perhaps they just need that much more time to develop it. This is going to be a PlayStation 4 game. I don't think that you're going to have to run the risk of it slipping somehow to PS5. In the JRPG world, that's not really a problem. You can bring a game out after the new system releases and be just fine with it. But if you're looking forward to Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, as I am, we're going to be waiting a bit longer, to say the least. So I did want to go to the Facebook page for our final little segment here. From week to week, if things are looking a little bit light, I will ask the awesome community over on our page if they've got anything they really want to chat about. And sometimes it's crickets, sometimes the floodgates open up. Well, this week was definitely the latter, and so much so that I'm just going to have to pick really one thing and kind of go with it. And I do want to kind of take a couple suggestions, some really good suggestions, and make those into Sunday special shows. As I like I said before, I kind of want to keep this more news oriented rather than just opinion type stuff. We can deal with that on the Sunday show. But first off, thank you so much for our new likes this week. We had 3 new likes. So our friends Rosalind, Jake, and Nick are now part of the JRPG Report community. And big shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of it. And our question is going to come from Hans. And he wants us to talk about Grandia HD Remaster coming soon. Well, Hans, we did. He is looking forward to this one perhaps as much as I am. And like I said, I'll be sure and give you guys a full report on that. Probably not going to make it next week because I think we'll do a new podcast before it comes out, but certainly on the next one. Opinions on 2019 so far from a JRPG standpoint. He had four topics to talk about. That's why we're just going with his for this week. My opinions have been, I think, a bit mixed. To be fair, I really need to go back and see exactly when stuff released, but I don't think it's been a banner year by any stretch. But I think that's also because, like last year, with Dragon Quest, it was just so good. Hard to top that in my book. I was so disappointed with like Kingdom Hearts 3. I think 2020 is shaping up to be a really incredible JRPG year with stuff like Persona 5 Royal. Obviously, we still got plenty of 2019 to go, so this might be something that I can kind of answer a little bit better. Maybe we can revisit that topic come December to see exactly which ones made it out, which ones didn't, and how I felt about it. One of his other questions was the fact that almost every game out there has RPG mechanics lately. I was literally having this conversation with my brother the other day because he's been trying to get me to play Spider-Man forever. And if you own a PS4, you have to play this game. It is so much fun. It is very well done through and through, but it is a Spider-Man RPG. You level up for every enemy you defeat. You gain new, suits with new abilities. You have skill points to spend. Every time you do the side missions, you get certain bonuses that allow you to power up the gadgets and the suits and the abilities. You have all these backpacks to collect throughout the city. You have all the tourist attractions to take pictures of. It has so many RPG elements built into it, and I guess that's why I love it so much. So I think what has happened, and I don't know the exact moment in time that the crossover happened. I liken back to games like Mass Effect. Of course, Zelda's always had those elements to it, but in particular, games that kind of blurred the line between action RPG and just straight RPG games. And it's been slowly happening for a long time, but it's almost like, even Call of Duty, you started gaining experience, for every kill that you made. There's no going back. And I think a game that doesn't have those elements in it in some way, shape, or form is not going to do as well. It's like every game has to have RPG elements to it. Now, luckily, in our little genre, we're still pretty niche, and what defines a JRPG, while is loosely interpreted, it's still recognizable. And like in my opinion, The Legend of Zelda is certainly not a JRPG. In my mind, it's not even an RPG. It's still an action game. But there's plenty of people that would make the argument otherwise. And that also leads into his fourth topic. He says, retrospect on Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. He said he started playing this on the PC emulated, and he owns the Switch version. He says, does the game still add up? And I think I've shared this opinion with you guys before. I don't like Breath of the Wild. I am old school Zelda. When I was like 5 or 6, I played the original and played almost all of them ever since. I'm a huge fan of the series, and I just did not care for Breath of the Wild. There's so many people that love and adore this game, and I think that's fantastic, but I didn't like it. It just wasn't the experience that I was looking for, and I left it at that. I played it for a good 3 or 4 hours and was not enjoying it, so I stopped playing it. And for me, it doesn't matter how great a game is. If you don't personally enjoy it, then don't play it. These games are too expensive and too long to not enjoy what you're doing. We don't play games just to play them. They are supposed to derive enjoyment from, and to be an escape from reality. And I just wasn't enjoying it. And it's okay. It's okay. You can tell me right now that you couldn't stand Chrono Trigger, or Final Fantasy VI, or Dragon Quest IV. In my pantheon of my favorite games of all time, you could tell me those games were garbage, and I would have to extremely disagree with you. But that's your opinion because you didn't enjoy them. Now, if you just read somebody's opinion on it, and it's an old game, so you don't like it, well, that's not really an informed opinion, but it's still yours to own. So it's okay to not like these games, and I understand there's a lot of people that love Breath of the Wild and are super excited about the sequel. I'm just not one of them, and that's okay. But I love all you guys' comments. The social interaction on our Facebook page is really cool. People kind of connecting and finding a common ground in JRPGs is amazing to me. I think it's so cool. And we will definitely discuss more of these opinions in future shows. If you've got topics you would like discussed on the show, I'm always open to suggestions. Just head on over, give us a like. Don't forget to check out our YouTube page and like and subscribe over there. You don't have to hit the bell. I don't care if you get notifications or not. I just want your subscription. That makes me happy. I appreciate it. Anyway, we will wrap up. Gosh, episode 72 already coming to a close. It's been a great episode. I really appreciate you guys giving us a listen each and every week. It means the world to me. If you'd be so kind as to leave us a review on iTunes, that really bumps us up the rankings and gets the message out to even more fans like yourself who love JRPGs. My name is James Fisher. Thank you so much. This has been the JRPG Report, episode 72. We're going to sign off for this time, but until next time, get back out there and level up.